Hey everyone, and welcome to another XDefiant video. This video basically is just going to cover the recent update that came out. I'm a little bit late on it, only because I wanted to give it a try to see if there's anything noticeable. And instead of covering the whole notes, because realistically, think of this update as more of you walking into a restaurant, the waiter or waitress sits you down and then just hands you the appetizer menu. That's pretty much all this is. It's kind of like not a big update, but a noticeable one at that. And from that alone, the only thing I pretty much say is, for those of you that were getting annoyed by basically kill trading all the time, they reduced that by half, the window of opportunity. It still happens, but it's not as bad where almost every single gunfight ended in a kill trade. It's rare, so unless you're playing the cleaners, then in that case, I guess it'll happen more frequently if you manage to get them to 6 health. But other than that, the kill trading should be happening less frequently than usual. They also nerfed the fandom players, but when I say nerf, realistically, I did get to try them out a bit. The nerf is honestly not that big a deal. They just have 5 reduced health. Whenever they get shot at, it takes a second longer to pretty much heal, which, in my opinion, if most gunfights, you pretty much have like a little breathing room. So unless you're like in the action where they're all surrounding you, then you're more than likely gonna die because of that delay. But in most other scenarios, team deathmatch, occupy, or anywhere where you're able to get yourself an extra 4 seconds instead of 3 of cover, this nerf isn't gonna make much of a difference. Same with the movement speed. I believe they nerfed it by 5%, but not a really noticeable one, considering that there are attachments that actually reduce your movement speed by that much. Unless you're stacking these attachments on as well, then you'll kind of notice yourself feeling more sluggish. But if you never use these, or if you start stacking any attachments that give you movement speed, it kind of negates the nerf. A lot of, actually, aside from the health, most of the stuff can be negated if you put in the right attachments. Or in this case, the delay thing kind of doesn't make much of a difference, because 4 seconds of delay, or just hug the nearest Libertad member, they'll just pretty much start the thing already. So they also reduced the time it takes to kind of start the you know how whenever you finish a match, you get stuck on the on a black screen, or like it takes like a noticeable kind of time before you start going back to the main menu and it queues up you for another game. They reduced that by 15 seconds. So for those of you that finished the match and it felt like you're kind of queuing up faster than usual, that's pretty much what they did. They pretty much made it so you can actually start queuing up noticeably faster. And lastly, the big one, not the big one, because like I said, I'm gonna make a follow-up video because if this was the update that just was like bug fixes and little stuff, one of them being, now when you complete a daily, it counts towards your battle pass. So finish all 3 of them and you can pretty much bump up by like 3-4 levels. Topple that with the battle pass boosters. You should be able to get like 5-6 levels within one match if you actually manage to pull it off. But yeah, aside from that, there's not much to really cover in this patch. It's really just bug fixes and stuff like that. But figured I'd take this time to kind of talk about XDefiant a little bit more, since basically that's like I said, I can just leave the patch notes in the description, but realistically there's not much to kind of gloss over. There's it's simple stuff. The stuff that I mentioned earlier was pretty much the big stuff that I noticed from it. But if anything, with the next update, one thing they should really do is either nerf the damage for the turret for the highwaymen, either nerf the health or its damage, because in a sense, I don't know, the fact that it's one of those abilities where you just drop and forget, it's a little way too forgiving for how quickly it can get an elimination on someone if they're not paying close enough attention to it. I believe it does like 12, sometimes I've noticed 17 damage per shot, and that thing fires fast. But yeah, aside from that too, funny enough, I remember before all this was happening, one of my biggest complaints was the ACR, but I don't know, since the Highwind kind of came to be, the fact that they have their passive that lets you fire more faster, reload and everything, in a sense, most of the weapons that I had problems with are kind of just, I don't know, non-existent now. But it's a little variety in there. And also, man, the thing too is I want to try out the new light machine gun as well. I'm like 6 levels away, and part of me wants to just spend the X coins to just buy the levels. But seeing how we have a new daily thing, I believe if I complete those on top of that, I should be able to get it within an hour. So at the rate that I'm going, I should be able to level it up and finally test out that new light machine gun. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm gonna just call the video. I don't want to drag it on too much. Like I said, if you play for yourself, you're gonna notice the matches pretty much ending quicker after the whole animation of of the top player, the score and everything. It should, once it cuts to black, it should be noticeably faster. Phantom nerf and dailies counting towards your battle pass now. There's other stuff on here, but like I said, mostly just bug fixes and stuff like that. The real big update is the next one, which I kind of lost track, but I'm hoping it's the mid-season one, because that's, I believe, if it's the mid-season one, that's when we're going to be getting the one where we can start doing private matches and a bunch of other stuff. It's, like I said, in my opinion, it's the big update, but we don't know when it's coming out. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, or if you have any questions about the update, I'll be sure to answer them. And yeah, if you have leave a like, comment, and all that stuff, and join my Discord if you ever want to play matches with me, because usually I do hop on this game frequently, but yeah, I have actually had trouble finding other people to play with, because everyone just kind of keeps to themselves, and for some reason when people see my clips online, they kind of assume that I keep to myself, when that's not the case. I just play a lot of FPS games. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. See you later, everyone.